When a silent girl picked up a real military handgun, everyone laughed. 30 students, 3 instructors, and 1,000 assumptions, shattered by one shot. No words, no warning, just one pull of the trigger, and the internet exploded. This is the story of how a mute teenager humiliated a firing range full of loudmouths without saying a single word. She didn't scream, she didn't pose, she didn't even blink. But when the bullet hit dead center from an impossible distance, even the soldiers froze, and suddenly, everybody wanted to know her name. Don't scroll, you need to hear this. Dai Toitieu Kong No Hon 552. Texas, early June. The sun wasn't shining, it was glaring. Heat shimmered off the pavement like ghosts trying to escape. A yellow school bus groaned along a rural highway, packed with high schoolers more concerned with TikTok likes than history. Inside, music blasted from a speaker someone had snuck in. Laughter bounced between the seats. Someone sprayed perfume in the air just to annoy others. In the middle of this chaos sat Emily Brooks, silent, still, forgotten. 17 years old, slender, pale, brown hair pulled into a low ponytail. Always wore a loose gray hoodie no matter the weather. On her left wrist, a red string tied 3 times. No one asked why. She had never spoken a word, not from trauma, not from injury, no diagnosis. She simply didn't speak. Kids made up stories. Zim said she screamed as a child until her voice disappeared. Others claimed she saw her father die. None of it was true. But the truth never matters in high school. What mattered was that Emily was weird. That's what they called her. Mute Barbie. Broken Alexa. Glitch girl. They said it where she could hear. They said it loud. She never flinched. The only person who treated her like more than wallpaper was Sasha Klein. Blonde, sharp-tongued, dyed streaks of green in her hair just to piss off the principal. Sasha didn't care what people thought, which is why, when the school announced a field trip to a decommissioned military base, part of some community outreach nonsense, Sasha grabbed Emily's hand and signed them both up. "We're getting out of this town for a day," she smirked. "And if anyone asks, you're my emotional support sniper." Emily smiled, just a flicker at the corner of her mouth. Sasha noticed, as always. The bus pulled through a chain-link gate lined with fading warning signs. Beyond lay Fort Harriman, an old military base turned public education site. Cracked concrete, sun-bleached tanks, rusted fences. But the shooting. Range was real, still functional. Live ammo, real instructors. As the students filed out, a group of varsity boys hooted and ran toward the photo booths, set up with fake rocket launchers. "Yo, take a pic like I'm launching on North Korea." Laughter. Sasha and Emily trailed behind. A few heads turned. One girl in a crop top whispered loud enough for Emily to hear. Did Sasha really bring her again? It's like dragging a mannequin around. Maybe she's a robot spy. Someone else snorted. Coded to only blink. Emily didn't react, she never did, but Sasha did. She turned, middle finger high, walked backward like a rock star and said, "You'll wish she was your mannequin when this trip's over." No one took her seriously. Why would they? To them, Emily was background noise that didn't even make noise. They didn't know she had spent her childhood watching old war documentaries with a grandfather who couldn't sleep unless he cleaned his guns. They didn't know she could strip and reassemble a pistol in 47 seconds flat. They didn't know she practiced breathing techniques every night. Inhale, hold, squeeze, as a form of control. They didn't know they were about to witness something that would haunt them. In the most glorious way possible. At the far end of the facility, a tall figure in fatigues barked instructions near the shooting range. Sergeant Collins, 60, silver beard, voice like gravel. He motioned toward the row of pistols laid out on the high bench. "All right, kids, time to test your aim. One shot each, let's see what you've got." The crowd surged forward, phones ready. Emily stayed in the back, watching, waiting, still invisible, but not for long. The first shot echoed like thunder across the range. A boy in a varsity jacket flinched as the recoil pushed his hand up. The bullet veered wide, smacking harmlessly into the dirt. His friends laughed, slapped his back like it didn't matter. I got close though. You almost hit the moon, man." Sergeant Collins didn't smile. He just marked a clipboard and waved the next student forward. The queue shuffled along. One by one, teens stepped up, lifted the M9 pistol, tried to look cool for their friends or their Instagram followers. Most shots missed. A few nicked the outer rings of the paper target at 10 meters. One girl hit the center left and jumped like she won an Olympic medal. Her friend posted the clip instantly. From the back, Emily watched. Her eyes scanned each movement: grip, stance, breath, trigger discipline. Like she was absorbing every stake. Sasha nudged her. "Bet you could outshoot all these clowns blindfolded." Emily didn't smile, she rarely did, but her eyes flicked sideways, and Sasha caught the spark there. That's when it started. One of the boys, Jared Thomas, tall, loud, always recording, turned his phone around and pointed it toward the two girls in the back. Yo, check this. Sasha brought her creepy doll again. She don't blink, she don't talk, but maybe she shoots lasers. Hey, Sarge, let her try. Just for fun." The crowd laughed. Even a few instructors cracked smiles. Emily stood still, arms folded over her notebook like armor. Sasha stepped forward. "Back off, Jared." "What? It's a joke. I'm inviting her." Jared looked at Sergeant Collins. "Come on, sir, give her a shot. Let's see what she's got." The sergeant paused. His eyes, cool, military gray, moved toward Emily. "Miss, if you'd like to try, you're welcome to. One shot only." Silence. 20 pairs of eyes turned. Phones lifted. Some were already recording. Emily looked at Sasha. Sasha whispered, "You don't have to do this." But Emily had already stepped forward. She didn't take the gun immediately. First, she looked at the target range. Her gaze swept past the 10-meter mark where the others had fired, then drifted further, all the way down to the 25-meter target, the farthest one, barely visible, its paper circle fluttering in the wind. Sergeant Collins noticed. "That one's for advanced training, sweetheart." "You sure?" Emily nodded. Collins raised a brow but didn't argue. He handed her the pistol. The M9 sat heavy in her palm, solid, balanced. She didn't adjust it, didn't shift her feet, just breathed. Phones were aimed at her now. Some students whispered, "She's gonna drop it." "Hope she doesn't shoot herself." "I'm not standing behind her, man." Sasha held her breath. Emily raised the pistol, arms straight, posture clean. Her finger rested outside the trigger guard just like her grandfather taught her. No words, no hesitation, just silence. Then, a shot. The sound was sharp, clean, devastating. It cracked across the range like a whip. Downrange, the 25-meter target rippled. The red bullseye exploded into a perfect smoking hole, dead center. No one moved, no one breathed, even Sergeant Collins stood frozen. The clipboard slipped from his hand and hit the ground with a soft thud. Sasha blinked. Her mouth hung open. Jared's phone lowered slowly like someone had just punched him in the gut. Then came the first voice. "Wait, did she just..." Another. That was the far target, and then, "No way. No fucking way. I got that on video. Zoom in, check the hole." "Bro, that's center." The crowd surged forward toward the target wall. A couple of students broke rank, sprinting down the range to confirm. "It's dead center!" Screams. Chaos. Disbelief. The live streams were already blowing up. On TikTok, one caption read, "Mute girl just smoked everyone at military range. Chura legend Jude WTF." Sergeant Collins stepped forward slowly, like approaching a live grenade. He looked at Emily with something almost like reverence. "Where'd you learn to shoot like that?" Emily flipped her notebook open. She wrote 2 words, in silence. The sergeant stared at the page, then at her. "Well, damn," someone in the crowd whispered, not mockingly this time. "She's like a ghost." Sniper. No one laughed. The girl they once ignored had just rewritten the story without saying a single word. For 5 full seconds, no one said a word. Even the wind seemed stunned. Dust hung in the air like it was afraid to settle. Then, like thunder chasing lightning, the crowd exploded. That was insane! Bro, that was real? That just happened? Did you see her face? She didn't even flinch. She's not human, she's a damn robot sniper. Sasha was still rooted in place, blinking at the target, then at her friend, then back again like the laws of reality had been rewritten. Emily turned calm as stone. She handed the pistol back to Sergeant Collins, who accepted it with both hands like she was giving him a sacred relic. He didn't speak, just stared. The group of kids who had mocked her now stood quiet. Jared was still recording, but his phone hand was shaking. She just outshot everyone, he whispered. One of the instructors walked over to Collins. That was a 25-meter cold shot, dead center. No warm-up, no scope. That's not luck, the sergeant muttered. That's training. Emily simply retrieved her notebook and walked back to Sasha. Around her, a bubble of awe expanded like a slow-motion explosion. Phones followed her every move. Comments poured in on live streams. Who is she? This girl a Navy SEAL's daughter or what? Yo, someone tag the military, they need to recruit her ASAP. Not all heroes speak, I guess. Sasha was still trying to find words. She settled on the only honest one. Damn. Emily tilted her head, wrote something in her notebook, then flipped it around. Should I do it again? Sasha stared, then broke into a grin so wide it could split the sky. Oh, hell yes. Back near the line, Sergeant Collins was already calling over his fellow instructors. Set up the AR. Move her to 200 meters. Let's see if that was lightning or a full-blown storm. Another target was set, twice as far, barely a speck to the naked eye. The M9 pistol was swapped for an AR-15. Most students had only seen one, in video games. When Emily stepped up again, the crowd instinctively parted. This time, no one laughed, no jokes, just a rising hum of anticipation, like before a rocket launch. The AR-15 rested on the bench. Emily didn't need instruction. She adjusted the scope, lay prone, elbows down, cheek to stock, breathing slow, one finger to the trigger. Sasha stood behind her, recording on her phone now, hands steady. You've got this, she whispered. Emily didn't nod. She didn't blink. The world narrowed to a single point. Inhale, hold, squeeze, bang, the shot. Cracked like a whip across the field. The metal target, barely visible, pinged sharply, then swung backwards on its hinges. The instructors shouted, running toward it. One held up the hit marker. Dead center, not just a hit, perfect grouping, first try. Cheers erupted behind her, but Emily didn't smile. She stood, dusted her knees, and returned the rifle with the same calm she always carried. Phones were everywhere. TikToks, reels, shorts streaming from every angle. The mute girl just clutched the AR like it was nothing. Legend, legend. No reaction, no celebration. She's built different, but it was more than just performance. Something deeper was shifting. The girl who had been ignored, mocked, sidelined was now the center of the storm. I feel bad we ever laughed. She's got more control than anyone I know. Real talk, she's braver than half the guys here. Even Jared stepped forward. He opened his mouth to say something, then shut it, jaw clenched. He just nodded. That was enough. Sergeant Collins approached slowly, eyes searching her like trying to solve a riddle etched in silence. You've been trained, he said. Who taught you? Emily flipped open her notebook. Wrote with sharp, deliberate strokes. My grandfather, Vietnam. He said shooting was 90% listening. Collins exhaled, long and slow. That man raised a sniper. The instructors circled her, no longer teachers, but witnesses. A distant sound broke the moment. The ping-ping of notifications. One of the students shrieked, "Dude, her video's at 500,000 views." Wait, what? Let me see. No cap, it's trending. Top 5 right now. Screens lit up. The silent sniper. Who is she? One shot. No words. Everyone. Destroyed. Real or staged? Experts break down her impossible shot. In less than an hour, Emily Brooks was no longer invisible. Real or staged? Experts break down her impossible shot. In less than an hour, Emily Brooks was no longer invisible. Emily Brooks was no longer invisible. She was the storm they never saw coming, and she hadn't said a single word. The video hit 1 million views before the school bus even left the military base. Someone had edited Emily's first shot in slow motion. Bullet flying, target ripping, her face blank, composed, godlike. Overlaid with the words, "She spoke. With a bullet." We listened. Within hours, the world did too. News outlets picked it up. First local, then national. Hashtags exploded. Yar silent sniper. Ya mute legend. Emily Brooks. At school the next day, students stared as if she'd grown wings. Some approached, hesitant, trying to act casual. "Hey, I saw your shot, that was wild. You're like famous now, huh? You ever think about going pro?" Emily didn't answer. She never did. But now her silence didn't read as weird. It read as powerful. People began to imitate her online. The silent challenge was born. Try to shoot, draw, sing, perform, without speaking, smiling, or reacting. Most failed. All tagged her. Why does silence feel scarier than noise? This girl taught me more in 5 seconds than my whole school career. But while the internet celebrated her, the people who once laughed scrambled to erase their past. Jared deleted all his old clips. But the internet doesn't forget. A user reposted a screenshot of his mocking video next to the clip of her shot. Caption: "Remember how you treated her before she was a legend?" That went viral too. They laughed. Then they filmed. Then they shut up. Emily didn't change. The world just finally looked. At lunch, Emily sat in the same corner table as always, Sasha beside her. But this time, every eye in the cafeteria was tilted slightly toward them. Half in awe, half in shame. Sasha opened TikTok. Notifications were endless. "Emily, this one's from some army veteran. He said your shot was unnatural discipline. Look, he's tearing up. This one's from a sniper school in Kentucky. They want to invite you. Oh my God. West Point followed you." Emily kept eating her sandwich, unfazed. Then she wrote on her notebook and pushed it toward Sasha. "Why are they listening now?" Sasha read it, hesitated, then said, "Because you proved you didn't need to speak for people to hear you." Emily stared blankly, then wrote again. "But I was the same person last week." "I know," Sasha said softly. "But now they know too." That afternoon, she was called into the principal's office. Not for discipline, but because CNN wanted to interview her. "Just a short segment, Miss Brooks. America's fascinated with you." She didn't go. Instead, she posted a single video to her own page, no music, no captions. Just her standing in front of the shooting range. Silent. Then she held up her notebook. "I don't speak because I'm broken. I speak through what I do. If you only listen after I become famous, maybe you were the silent one." That video got 12.8 million views. A few days later, a school board meeting addressed bullying. Emily was mentioned by name. The superintendent called her a beacon of strength. Students were encouraged to follow her example of focus and integrity. Some whispered that the school was just saving face. But for once, Emily didn't care. She had something far more powerful than pity. She had respect, the kind earned in silence. Then came the letter, delivered by courier. Gold-sealed envelope from West Point Military Academy. An invitation to their summer marksmanship program. All expenses paid. With a handwritten note from the program director. "We've never seen a raw talent quite like yours. We want to help. You sharpen it, not because you went viral, but because you earned it." Emily traced the edge of the letter with her finger, then looked up at Sasha. "So," Sasha grinned, "what do you think? Ready to become the world's most dangerous introvert?" Emily wrote one sentence. "Let them underestimate me one more time." West Point in summer was nothing like Texas. The mornings were cold. The air was clean. Mountains rose behind the academy like silent guardians. Everything was ordered, crisp, purposeful, like each stone in the road had been placed with military precision. And in the middle of it all, walking among cadets twice her size, was Emily Brooks. She never saluted wrong, never stepped out of line, never missed a shot. While others spoke in cadence and barked instructions, Emily said nothing, and yet commanded attention wherever she walked. Instructors didn't know what to make of her at first, but respect, like fire, spreads fast in close quarters. During a competitive long-range drill, Emily hit 5 bullseyes in under 40 seconds. The supervising colonel leaned over to the guest trainer and muttered, "If she ever decides to speak, the whole damn country better listen." Her reputation followed her like a shadow now. A visiting NATO officer even asked for a photo. Still, Emily remained unchanged, quiet, precise, focused. But one thing was different. People made room for her now, not because they pitied her, because they admired her. She was no longer the mute girl. She was Brooks, a name spoken with weight. At the end of the program, during a closing ceremony, cadets lined up, uniforms pressed sharp, faces sunburnt and proud. Sasha had flown in, wearing a borrowed blazer 3 sizes too big, hair barely tamed. Emily spotted her in the crowd instantly. The commandant handed out certificates. Some got nods, a few handshakes. But when he reached Emily, he paused, then took a slow breath. "In all my years, I've never seen anyone lead without a single word spoken." He handed her the envelope. The applause that followed was thunderous, and for the first time in her life, it was for her. After the ceremony, cadets rushed to say goodbye. Selfies, hugs, even jokes. "Promise me you'll never join the enemy. We'd be doomed." Emily just smiled. She found Sasha standing near the edge of the quad, beside a bronze statue of a Civil War general. "So," Sasha said, "what now? Navy SEAL, CIA?" Emily handed her a slip of paper. It read, "I want to teach. Kids like me, who don't talk but see everything." Sasha swallowed hard. "You really are gonna change the world, huh?" Emily shrugged. Then, with a soft, almost imperceptible movement, she reached forward, and for the first time in front of anyone, hugged Sasha. No words, no explanation, just warmth. The wind moved gently between them. Birds chirped somewhere off-screen. For once, the world didn't need to speak. As they walked back toward the dorms, Sasha pulled out her phone. "I think I'm gonna post one last video about you. Just one. Wanna see what I'll call it?" Emily nodded. Sasha typed, "The girl who spoke with a bullet and taught the world to listen." The screen faded to black. Then, one last clip played. Emily alone on the shooting range, her hands steady, her eyes clear. The AR-15 rising. A breath in. Bang. The bullet split the target clean, perfect center. The caption read, "She didn't need to talk. She just needed one shot to silence the push and make us all finally listen." If this story moved something in you, if you believe silence can be power and every soul deserves to be heard, then you're not alone. Hit subscribe and stay with us. Together we'll keep telling the stories that others overlook. One voice, one story, one truth at a time. Let the quiet ones rise.